Hello, welcome to Winging It, my cooking show. Today we're going to be making some poke bowls, some good old type of, I believe they are Hawaiian origin, actually not Japanese, but sushi style situation, but it's a nice simple process, so it shouldn't take too long. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to have to do is make our cauliflower rice. So let me just tilt you down. We got our processor here. And our cauliflower, and let's make about, I'd say, a cup and a half cauliflower rice, because we're also going to have avocado in this, and I'm going to use a quarter of an avocado. So let me just open this up. Pulling off all the green stuff, because we don't need it. I'm going to try to pull off about a cup and a half of this cauliflower, which should be probably about half of it. Let's just chop it in half, actually. That'll make life easier. There we go. Grab the smaller half, and that needs to get washed now. Put this aside. Now we're just going to take this, put it into our blender, breaking it up a bit. We don't want all the inside part. See, we don't want all that. We want mostly just floret part, because the inside part's a little tougher than the florets, so it doesn't really make that good of cauliflower. I mean rice. We're just getting this all in here. I'm just gonna add to this side. And let's go over to the blender. Let's blend this up. So this is gonna be the longest part, making this cauliflower rice. So I'm doing this first. Let's go over to blender. Jump a bit. See how we're looking over there? We're looking good on the camera. So now we want to start by just pulsing this to make sure all the cauliflower settles to the bottom. That's how other kids like to jump to the top. But during the pulse, we make sure to get them to sit back down. Now we can hold it, and we're trying to get like a sushi grade rice, which is a smaller grain than a regular bread rice. Let's check that. That looks good. That's about the size grain we want. All right. Back over to our counter. Get back down. Push it out a bit. Now we have our cauliflower rice. Let's now add that to an Instant. I like to do rice in an Instant Pot. I usually think it tastes a little better than trying to fry it up. And I have a good recipe for this, especially for when it comes to sushi rice. So I'm getting all this rice in here, into the bottom of this bowl. Now I'm just gonna come over to the, I'll just grab the one myself right here and then pour it in. So we want just a little bit of water, and you'll see I'm probably putting about a tablespoon in there of water. We don't want too much because we actually want most of the water to be sucked out of the grains themselves through the pressure cooking process. We're also going to add a little vinegar because of the whole sushi rice part of this. I'm using white vinegar because I can't have rice vinegar right now. If you can have rice vinegar, I suggest using rice vinegar. And if you saw, I just did a little splash. Next, we're just going to add a little salt. And give it a nice stir. Just try to get everything soaked into all the grains that we've created. All right, let's go look at the Instant Pot. you a spin. So an Instapot. And put this in the Instapot. You want to put this on for 2 minutes in the Instapot. It's all it's going to take there, but it takes a while for the Instapot to get going. So while we're doing that, we can prepare the rest of our meal. First thing I'm going to want to do is soak our fish in soy sauce. So I've gotten some tuna and some salmon. So we got tuna and salmon. I'm going to cut these into cubes and place them in these bowls. And then we're going to add soy sauce and allow that to marinate for a little bit. Let me pull this out. Got tuna, got a salmon here. I recommend a very sharp knife if you can get one. This is a sushi knife when cutting fish. And I gotta cut these into cubes. So first I'm gonna cut in half lengthwise. Maybe another one actually. There we go. Now from here, we're just gonna make little cubes of fish. Little bite-sized cubes. Nothing bigger than that. So yeah, this sort of size right here. Let me just put these in the bowl. Next one, same situation. Nice thin slices. This is why you want a sharp knife too. You don't want to be tearing your fish. Just want nice little clean cuts. Next fish. Let's see. Looks like my computer is being a little slow right now, it seems. Hopefully that's not an issue. I'll just kill Chrome. Hopefully that helps. Looks like it did a bit. Yeah. There we go. Slice, 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 slice. Same thing with the tuna block. Pull this out. I got these at Wegmans. Wegmans is nice for just being able to get these sort of blocks of fish. Oh, sushi grade fish too. This one I'm just gonna cut in half. Yeah, so we get nice two little halves. Now I'm gonna cut into lengths. And finally, into cubes. A lot easier to cut the tuna than it is the salmon, I can tell you that much right now. All right, take these, put it in this bowl. Now I'm just gonna be covering these with soy sauce. Give them a nice mix with your hands. Make sure everything's nice and coated. Okay, put these aside for later. I'm gonna wash off this cutting board. Just had a bunch of raw fish on it. This knife in the sink. These sushi knives, you don't want to throw them in the dishwasher. The dishwasher will dull the blade, you always want to hand wash something that's an extra sharp knife like that. Okay. So the next thing we gotta do is I needed to get some I can never remember how it's pronounced. I believe it's fukiki or furukiki. It's a spice that's used on top of rice in Japan that I actually really like, especially for poke bowls. But I don't actually have any right now, so I'm gonna make some myself. And I just realized I forgot something, so I can make it. One second. So the first thing we need to do is take some sesame seeds and toast them. So I'm grabbing a little bowl. This is where we're gonna keep our thing, and I'm gonna pour just a little bit of sesame seeds. And usually for a situation like this, you want to use a mortar pestle, but I don't own a mortar pestle, so I'll be using just turning on the stove for the little pan that I have for toasting these. So yeah, instead of using a mortar pestle, I'm gonna be using little bowl and molar, which this is what you use when making cocktails. But it should work fine. Right now, we're just trying to crush these sesame seeds, release their oils. All right, let's go over to the oven. Well, here on the stove top, you'll see I have this nice little pan that I use for eggs. I'm just going to be placing these in. We're just trying to get them a little toasty. They'll become fragrant when they toast. Yeah, just moving it around, making sure that I'm staying in one spot for too long. Almost there. Yeah. So now these are nice and toasted. Just put them back into the same little bowl that we took them out of. Doesn't take long to toast them. All right. Back to the cutting board. Yeah. All right. So to this, first thing I'm going to be adding is some nori. So yeah, nori is basically just a sheet of seaweed. So I'm just going to take this, break it up. I'm probably going to take about half a sheet. There we go. So yeah, I'm just going to take my knife right here, cut in half. Put the other one to the side. And I'm just going to fold it up a bit. Crumple it into here. Take our mortar. Cauliflower rice sounds like it's done. We want to release the pressure right away so it doesn't overcook. So let's go over do that right now before we continue this process. So I'm just going to cancel this. Reduce the pressure. Then we're going to take the lid off. And we're going to take the bowl out so that it can start cooling down a bit. We don't want it too hot because that's going to cook the tuna and salmon when we actually make the bowl. So we want it to lower down a bit in temperature while we're still making the rest of our ingredients. here. Try breaking this up more with our hands. I get an idea. I don't know how well this will work, but we'll see. Yes. Blender cup. Putting this all in here. See how all this works. Back over to the blender. Hopefully this breaks it up a little better. You want it to smell like a powder. Not a powder, but more like a seasoning. Much better. Back over here. Back down into this little bowl. Pouring it out. Oh yeah, much better. Now, taste. Definitely needs salt. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of red chili pepper to it. Give it a little spice. I wish I had some sort of fish oil or something that I could add to it too, but I don't. Not fish oil, but like dried fish, something like that, something to give them a little more umami flavor. But this should still do well. These, mix it up. Let's grind it up a bit again. Make sure everything gets in there together. Whatever. All right. So that's gonna be our seasoning. Next thing we're gonna create is mayonnaise to go. Actually, first I'm gonna slice an avocado. This is just gonna be half. We're gonna slice this, and then take a quarter of it and use it as just not even a garnish, but because it's actually part of the meal, just some niceness to put on. So I'm doing that. Grabbing a spoon so that I can dig this out. Should be able to just use the spoon to go across. Lift. And I got a little breakage, whatever. That aside. Save the rest of the avocado for another day. I'm just thinly slicing this. Push into the side. Nice ripe avocado. I've had this in my fridge for a while. Ripening. All right. Finally, we're gonna make spicy mayonnaise for this. Grabbing another bowl. A lot of bowls in this. Got some mayonnaise. Gonna grab about 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Actually, a tablespoon and a half, because I'm also gonna be using a little sesame oil. Tablespoon. Whatever. I can always clean more spoons. All right. First thing we're gonna add to it is some Frank's Red. Then we're gonna add a little bit of wasabi. I don't want too much because that'll be overpowering. And I'm gonna actually put a little bit of garlic in there too. garlic powder, some salt, so quick mix. Use a little more wasabi. I want the bite of the wasabi in there. That it's a different spice than the chili spice. Wasabi is more of a sinus versus chili, which is the malt. So this is gonna be a whole like head experience sauce. Mm. Mm. That's really good. It's really good stuff. All right. I think we're ready to assemble. Grab my sesame oil. Don't want to forget that. I'm gonna grab a bowl. Now I don't. I hope this bowl's big enough. A lot of fish. A lot of fish. All right. First thing we're putting in is our cauliflower rice. See, it's nice and dry and a little sticky. By dry, I mean like it's not like super soft or mushy or anything. All right. Next, we're gonna add about a capful of the sesame oil. This is just a regular toasted sesame oil. Maybe 2 capfuls actually, because we did only do a tablespoon and a half of the mayonnaise. All right, mixing that around. And by the way, that's an avocado mayo. Better for you. Let's give this a taste. That's good. We're gonna add a little bit of our fukiki, or however else you pronounce it. We don't want to put it all on because we're gonna use some of it as a garnish. So I kept that much of it. And we put this much in the bowl. Gotta mix it around again. That's really good right now. All right. Now let's add our fish. So I got some. So we're gonna put the salmon on one side. We're actually gonna mix a bit of it in. Same with the tuna. Got a bunch of tuna put in there. Mix it in. Just because there'd not be enough to get it on top of everything. We would never see the rice. All right. Now we can put our salmon on. And our tuna on the other side. Next, our avocado. Put a layer right in the middle. Didn't want to wipe on that, man. Next, we're gonna be putting our mayo on. Give it a little mix while you pour, so that it pours a little more evenly. Just trying to make nice lines across the entire thing. Finally, I season it on top. And voila, Pokeball. Move everything out of the way. I gotta take a picture. So much trash so quickly. It's amazing how many dishes you can make when you're dealing with fish. Right. Move over here. Serve this. Now I move you. Ooh, one thing I forgot to add, I'm also going to add a little bit of salmon roe on top too. Just for a nice little garnish. Alright, let's take a picture. Picture. One and done, look at that. Alright. Let's taste it. Go. Okay, great. I don't actually need to watch this one. So I'm grabbing the fork. I'm using a fork here because, like I said, poke is a Hawaiian dish, not a Japanese dish. So chopsticks are actually very unnecessary for it. Let's give it a taste. Mm. Well, that's good. Try a little bit of this salmon roe. Kyle. Everything here just works so well together. It's like the sea all in your mouth. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good night. And keep eating good.